Hello everybody, my name is Lovable Idiot, and today I'm going to be reacting to Clown TV's Nintendo trolled over Palworld in every Pokemon tweet. Um, I admit I already watched like 6 minutes of this, and I will say now that I'm going to be skipping some stuff in this video, so people have to go watch the original video. I'm not going to like watch like everything till the end. I'm just going to like skip to stuff. If you don't like that, then don't watch the video. But I don't know. I just want to react to it because some of this stuff is like really, really sparking some things in my brains. All right, so let's get started here. We'll play like the beginning, and then after this, I'm just gonna skip.
And we're gonna give you a daily dose of, I guess, Palworld updates. I've been covering Palworld a lot this month. It's like the biggest game on the planet. Of course, there's a lot of controversy.
Well, one of the biggest. Can't really say it's the biggest in the world. That's kind of still Pokemon, and like Grand Theft Auto 6. Anyway,
see around Palworld because people are making, pretty appropriate comparisons between Palworld and Pokemon, and there's been a lot of drama there with the Pokemon Company having to address, I believe, a bunch of freaking tattletales, some of them being like, do you know this game? This game called Palworld exists and they look kind of like Pokemon? You need to sue them, Nintendo. Get them! Get them!
Yes, I kind of want to know something. The quote unquote tattletales, right? The threatened vocal minority, right? Basically, their outrage is what also gave more light and like power to Palworld, right? More publicity to Palworld. That's what that outrage also did. It gave Palworld more publicity and, quite frankly, more sales, right? They sold, like 7 million copies, right? Selling 7 million copies, that was probably in help and due to those people. So in a way, in their little space, they did more harm than good. Yeah, they in their little world, they think they did good. They think that they're doing good, but in actuality, being mad and upset about a video game is publicity, and that's what's also helped Palworld, get more traction, and probably 10 million copies now. Probably, I don't know. It's probably getting up there to 10 million now because of the outrage. Anyway.
So Nintendo, believe me, if Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and whoever the hell makes Pokemon, all these people involved in making Pokemon, if they could take down Pocket Pair, the studio behind Palworld, tomorrow, I think they would do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, they would, but I don't think it would be really like a good etiquette too, because again, there are different monster taming franchises out there like Digimon and Monster Rancher, Yokai Watch. If they take down a studio for trying to be a monster taming game with survival, anything, like just because it's monster taming and they take it down, that's just gonna cause even more backlash, that not publicity that Game Freak doesn't want, Nintendo, Game Freak, Pokemon Company, etc. I'm not like a legal. I'm not a legal guy, by the way. So whatever I say, just take with a grain of salt, I guess.
Absolutely, I think they would absolutely do it. And now things are going to get a little more intense because another area that Pokemon dominates in outside of video games is collectible card games, trading cards, merchandise. And it looks like Palworld is already working on that. They're already working on their own collectible card game.
I really think that doing that is a good step to, really solidify yourself as a franchise, right? No, obviously not every video game needs a card game, but like when it comes to like collectible creatures, yeah, that's a really great thing to do. Yu-Gi-Oh has it, Pokemon has it, Digimon has it. Monster, Magic the Gathering has monsters. Like collectible monsters in card form is like really great. And, like if they make like they can really make it like a really good competitive card game. If they play their cards right, no pun intended. Then you know, you know that will really solidify every like them as a franchise. If they can make like good card game, they can make like more sales, and that will help improve for Palworld #2. You know, um, and like it'd be like more accessible to adults, and and like accessible to kids too, obviously. So you can really make the big bucks, right? If 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 that really pops off, then dang,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So is that going to be the new thing the kids are all into, trading the Palworld cards? Actually,
one of the things, one of the things.
since Palworld seems to appeal more to adults, I would love that these cards were kind of like Garbage Pail Kids, like roasting the hell out of Pokemon in the write-ups on the back. That would be pretty amazing. Well,
If they did that, then and Power World devs are in Japan. Pokemon would be able to stop that immediately if it was like a really bad parody. I mean, heard copyright laws aren't a thing out there, so like a parody wouldn't really bode well in Japan. Probably. Again, I don't know my legal stuff, but like if they did something compared to Garbage Pail Kids, that would not really bode well, and I think that would get taken down immediately if they would do that. If they just kept it, it's its own card game, its own thing. Like a really good competitive card game instead of like trying to parody Pokemon. Then you have like a really good standing thing, because the company shouldn't mock Pokemon, because one, it's bad etiquette, and two, that will just show that they're trying to just rub it in Pokemon's face, which is not good business etiquette at all, I think. But if they just keep it to a good competitive card game, collect all the cards, build really good decks, then they should keep it that way instead of making Garbage Pail Kids.
what would be really interesting is if they were compatible with the Pokemon card game. I mean, if you're looking at other game systems, people can make like unofficial add-ons. Be like, yeah, you can. Like, we're not telling you to, but if you
Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. Okay, to that compatible thing. I think if it was indirectly compatible with Pokemon cards, wouldn't Game Freak, Nintendo, and Pokemon Company technically would be able to take that down too? Because like you need to separate Palworld from Pokemon. Palworld needs to be its own thing. If it tries to directly compete with Pokemon, like marketing, like what everybody did with Digimon back in the day, right? instead of trying to make it its own thing that can stand alone from Pokemon, instead of trying to compete and see which one's better, then Palworld would be really, really successful. Because if they do the whole competition thing, or like the whole add-on thing, instead of trying to make it its own thing, then Palworld will really, really fall down under. And quite frankly, I don't think anybody would want Palworld to fall under, right? You shouldn't have Palworld try to compete with Pokemon, or, you know, tying directly into Pokemon, because, one, that Game Freak could just take that down. Nintendo, Pokemon Company, Game Freak could take that down. And again, the whole route of trying to make it compatible, no, don't. Just make the best course of action is making everything its own thing, right? Okay. What are these ads? Gross.
You wanted to use these cards with your Pokemon cards, you could do that. And there's like nothing Nintendo could do about it. Like you could use it. This is some pretty interesting stuff. What's even more interesting is Nintendo. Every time Nintendo tweets something about Pokemon, and they've been tweeting up a storm about Pokemon over the last week, trying to remind people that Pokemon still exists, right? But every time they tweet something about Pokemon, they get trolled by users on X, on Twitter.
Okay, again. Okay, I mean, I admit I'm really guilty with this, but if I'm guilty of the trolling. I always bring up Palworld and Pokemon posts on Instagram, so I'm guilty of this. But but let's just talk about. I find it funny that Nintendo of America is also doing that, as opposed to Pokemon. And it's like, this is damage control, right? This is damage control. That's what this basically is. It's damage control. It's embarrassing. I'm gonna be the first Pokemon fan that you're probably gonna hear saying this. Palworld embarrassed Nintendo and Game Freak. Okay, they embarrassed Pokemon. Cause like I played Scarlet and Violet. I enjoyed I enjoyed whatever time I had with it. I don't touch it anymore because I don't like the flaws of the game, right? I don't touch it anymore. I go on to different things, okay? But it's embarrassing when you have games like Breath of the Wild, Dragon Quest, Xenoblade Chronicles, right? You have all those fantastic, great, beautiful games on your system, and then you have Pokemon that looks like it's in beta test. A full game, it looks like a beta test. It runs like a beta test. It looks like a beta test with like PS2 style graphics. Okay, I shouldn't even do the PS2 dirty like that, but come on now. It looks bad. Okay. Scarlet and Violet lag like a mofo, okay? They really lag like a mofo. There's tons of glitches. Like, no matter how many updates, there's a lot of flaws with it, okay? There's just way too many flaws with Scarlet and Violet. Like, the story sucks. Okay. Like, the best story, your best story, I'd say, in modern Pokemon games would be Sword and Shield, because that game, in comparison to Scarlet and Violet, looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna be the first to say that, but like, Scarlet and Violet is an embarrassment. Like, how do you go from Legends Arceus to Scarlet and Violet? It's embarrassing, and that's why Nintendo and Game Freak and Pokemon, whoever keeps posting about Pokemon it's just damage control. No, it's like just admit defeat, admit the loss, admit defeat. Just make your games better, dude.
Sure. And that's kind of crazy too. Like I never thought I would see the day where Nintendo is being mocked for promoting its own products. You know, usually everybody, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rant video content and news on Twitter / oh my God, Pokemon, we're the real deal. Pokemon. But then you go into the comments. Palworld devs taking notes. I've never noticed Nintendo post this much Pokemon content before, says Press X.
Damage control.
Dude, Bro Duke. Why the sudden urge to keep posting about Pokemon?
Damage control.
Aussie Corp says, this is the most I've seen Nintendo post in forever.
Damage
Could
control.
it be due to a certain surprise hit Palworld?
Damage control.
Yeah, no, that's what I think it is. This is why people flock to Palworld.
People flock to Palworld because it's being free publicity from the outraged fans and the trolls, okay? And also because adult Pokemon fans like myself want a better monster taming game other than Pokemon right now, okay? Game Freak had it coming, Nintendo had it coming, and then Palworld comes on the scene and they did everything right, okay? They did everything right, and that's why people want to play the game, okay?
The owner of the Apple is about the lawsuit. The Pokemon designs are so good, this guy says. The Pokemon designs are so good that they're at a risk of being plagiarized.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. You can't plagiarize Pokemon. Can't plagiarize Pokemon. You can create your own designs, but you just, like, anything that looks like a Pokemon that's unofficial and not in a video game. Everybody knows it's a Fakemon. You can't plagiarize Pokemon, okay?
I don't think they're that great. We don't care. We play Palworld. Palworld.
Hang on.
Anyone knows that Nintendo and Pokemon Twitter are spamming tons of Pokemon tweets since Palworld became popular. Palworld. That's basically it, right? This is Kenru, Winter Attire Jack Edition. Neat. Anyway, this is Chillet from Palworld. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lovely design. Palworld comments incoming. Sounds like a Palworld tweet. I miss Palworld even more. Yeah, but this one plants berries and does a little dance while doing it in reference to Palworld. Is that a pal from Palworld? What is this design? Palworld wins. Palworld's better. I gotta tell you, this is a very... Whatever this is, that is a very ugly looking Pokemon. Hydrapple. Hydrapple, the evolved form of Diplin. They, you know, when you've got like, what do they have, like 500 or 600 Pokemon now, like eventually you start to run out of ideas.
Over 1,000. 1,015 to be exact. Or with Ogerpon and the new one, 1,017.
Yes, right. Here's another one. Now everyone can see what the legendary Pokemon Ogerpon really looks like behind his mask. Okay, going into detail. Palworld right now. Taking notes. Palworld's got you all shook. Design's too busy. Pals are simple and cute. The fight is on. Close Game Freak down. We're all rooting for Pocket Pair now. Oh my god. More Palworld tweets. Palworld. Oh my god. Precious baby. I think it's too
Okay. Okay, he's gonna get into like this thing saying like designs are too complicated. Okay, I'm gonna get into that for a bit, but like Ogerpon, I will admit I don't have one, and I haven't updated my game really or bought the DLC, and I really don't intend and plan to. But Ogerpon is a cutie. Okay, but let's listen to his next things right now.
complicated. Person, I do agree with him. I think it's too complicated. That's one thing I liked about the first gen Pokemon, first couple generations of Pokemon, is that they were simple and they were, But again, when you have however many hundreds of monsters or thousands of monsters that they have now, I've lost track. You're gonna be kind of reaching. You're gonna be running out of ideas.
Okay. I will say now that that's a really stupid point. I think complexity when in monster designs is great. It's the key to keep creating more monsters. You that's just a stupid point. I'm sorry, but that's a stupid point. Like, what's wrong with complexity, right? What's wrong with complexity? Let's look at Charizard. He's complex. He's not simple. He's complex. He has complex features. He has a mad face. He has horns on his head. He has wings. He has, like dragon features. That's complex. Let's look at another one. A fan favorite. A fan favorite legendary. Rayquaza. He's complex. Like, another fan favorite Pokemon legendary. Giratina and his origin form, like, they're complex. You can't make that an argument. I'm sorry, but like, that's stupid. If we're gonna Jesus Christ, you cannot say that designs are too complex. That's such a stupid thing. Okay? If if complex is if complexity is like a kind of a bad thing, then Yu-Gi-Oh wouldn't be as popular as it is today. They have such complex monsters, and like Digimon, right? Digimon has complex designs and it's loved by a lot of people. Yeah, sure, you have like simple and easy for the eyes, but then it's like they grow into more complex creatures. Like complexity, I believe for children creates more creativity, makes you really think of why they look like this. You know, what's the background to their design? Like what's the origin to what's the inspiration for their design, right? Saying it's too complex is such a stupid argument because there's already complex Pokemon that exist. Okay, you have Rayquaza, you have Giratina's origin form, you have Mewtwo, Gardevoir's a complex design, right? What like that's a stupid argument. That's just a stupid thing to say. Like complex. Oh my god! It's like if they're too simple, then they wouldn't have like created more monsters. Okay, like they're already at 1,000 of them. If they just keep it simple, then everybody would complain like, oh, they're too plain and simple. Get more creative. Like, oh my god, it's okay. I'm sorry, but it's like complexity is great for monster design. Okay, Ogerpon looks great. Ogerpon's a cutie. I think what they did with it is like really great. Like if artists can't work with complex design, then why are they even working in the industry, right? It's art. Artists want to do what artists want to do. They want to try to challenge themselves in creating and designing and all this other stuff, right? So saying like complex and it doesn't look like a Pokemon is it's just bad, dude. It's just bad.
This thing just it's weird looking.
It's cute.
It's just weird. It looks like a character from like some Dreamcast game from like the late 90s. It doesn't look like a Pokemon to me.
Okay, it's his opinion, right? Obviously it's his opinion, but like, just come on. The complex argument is dumb. What about Mega Evolutions, dude? Mega Evolutions were complex. That's why people love them.
To me, that's just me.
Your opinion?
Palworld clears your mid game. Oof. This game looks like a Palworld ripoff. What the F? Yeah, everybody. Careful, Palworld comments incoming. The comments are just as obnoxious as I thought they would be. That checks out. Why would you spoil this? Maru Kudiku, whatever your name is. The reason they're doing this is because they're trying to lure you back to Pokemon. They're trying to show you all the cool stuff, or what they think is the cool stuff, to lure you back to Pokemon.
Yeah.
To get you away from Palworld. You can't be looking at Palworld. Harass isn't that fine. Look at our moldy-headed dragon's bright red ass. Don't you want to just bite into that?
I don't know if he's reading a comment or if he's just trying to be funny, but like, bruh.
Pokemon stands? Yeah, you want some of this. You don't want any of that Palworld nonsense. Even Deserto is getting in on it. I thought this was funny. What's the best Pokemon game? Go.
What's the best Pokemon game? You know, that's really subjective. What's the best Pokemon game? That's subjective. I mean, if you like Scarlet and Violet, then you know that's your opinion, your choices. Me personally, I love Generation 2, like Gold and Silver Heart, Gold and Soul Silver. But you know, again, that's me. I love Johto. I don't know why. I just think those games are great.
All the Pokemon games right in the middle. Palworld. Palworld is the best Pokemon game in years.
No.
And that's the problem.
No, don't say it. Okay, I know he's just saying stuff and like, but come on. Don't call it a Pokemon game. It's not a Pokemon game. Don't insult Palworld like that. Don't insult Palworld like that, okay? It's like, just don't insult Palworld like that. I think what Game Freak needed was competition. And, you know, maybe, you know, they were probably begging for like more bake time for their games, right? And, you know, I think with this new controversy, and then they might let Game Freak develop the next Pokemon game. You should at least like give them 3 years for the next Pokemon game. At least, instead of 2, because my god, dude.
The problem is, Palworld is what Pokemon should be. Now, I'm not talking about being...
Are you kidding me?
Being able to capture and butcher humans. But the evolution of the game, going from just, you know, gym to gym and fighting your Pokemon, but actually having like just a wide open world.
Okay. I think the gym system works. Okay, in my opinion, the gym system works. It's just that. Hold on. I'm gonna listen to his more. I'm gonna listen to him a little bit more before I say my point.
Crafting, being able to interact with your pals the way that you are, you know, just stuff them in the balls and keep them in your gym locker or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like to actually be able to interact and live with your pals.
Yeah.
And you know, eat them, I guess, and put them to work. But you know what I'm saying? It feels like a living, breathing world. Pokemon does not. Pokemon has not evolved.
Yeah. Okay. He didn't mention the gym thing. Okay. I think the gym thing still works. You can make it work still. It's just that, like you said, make the game open world and stuff, but like have level scaling, right? Pokemon needs level scaling to make the gym system work. Look at a ROM hack. I'm gonna unname the ROM hack, but it's a ROM hack of Pokemon Crystal, and you can start at any town, challenge any gym in any order you want to, and then as you challenge each gym and stuff, then the level scale up to match the current level on your team and makes it more difficult. Pokemon needs level scaling like that for their games, and like he said, have the open world in there, make it a living, breathing world. Have your Pokemon, interact with Pokemon, let them out, play with them, kiss them, hug them, or do whatever you want with them, but have like the open world and level scaling. That's what Game Freak needs to do with their Pokemon games. What they did with Scarlet and Violet, they did what we wanted, but they did it in such poor execution. Um, they did it in such poor execution, and how you. Because in Scarlet and Violet, you can go to any gym you want, but they don't level scale. I did that, and then I beat the hardest gyms first unintentionally, and then like the last gym I had to fight was just like one shot after one shot after one shot. Um, but the gym system can still work. It's not an outdated concept. You need boss fights in a game, right? If you level scale, that would be absolutely great. And also keep the open world.
No pun intended. In decades.
Yeah, and yeah, Pokemon needs to evolve. If they want to stay relevant, if they want to keep going strong, they need to evolve. They need to start. Game Freak and Pokemon need to start opening up new horizons. With their games. They can't keep doing the same formula over again. Scarlet and Violet had the right idea, but it was poor execution. And if Game Freak had a little more time to make their video games, then they'd be able to do a lot more in a long period of time. And it's like it bothers me, like so many other people, that it's a yearly release, and that's why the games are struggling so hard, because they don't have enough time to really do anything. Okay? They really digressed with Scarlet and Violet. I think Sword and Shield look absolutely great. Like Skull Pikachu and Eevee look better than the game. Even Legend Arceus, the game they made previously, looks better than Scarlet and Violet. I don't understand that. And those two games were made alongside each other. So Game Freak made one good game, but then they just made a completely terrible one. I don't understand how you do that. But yeah, they need to evolve. They need to evolve and do better things with their games. Make it open world, have level progression, all that stuff.
It pretty much is the same game, at least the mainline games. Yeah, I've heard that there are some of the spin-off games are a little more open world. I haven't played those. I did.
What spin-off games are you talking about?
Play Shield, Sword, Shield. I think I played. Yeah, Squeaking had Sword. I had Shield. I played a couple hours of it, and I got very linear, very boring. Palworld, literally.
Basically, what Game Freak needs to do if they want to keep being in the loop is that they need their game like open world and more vibrant, pretty, more time to bake, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna end off the video here. I don't want to listen to the. I'm not gonna play the end of the video. If you want to listen to this guy more, and you want to listen to this guy, well, not me talking or pausing or interrupting, but then go in the link in the description to the YouTube video, this YouTube video. But yeah, what Pokemon needs to do, Pokemon Company and Game Freak need to do, is they need to give Game Freak more time to develop their video games. They need Game Freak to just have more time to develop a Pokemon game. That's what they really need to do. Because obviously more baking results in a better game. Because Scarlet and Violet are not cutting it. It's not great, and they just need to have time to sit down, relax, and basically, basically just put their talents to use. Their talents right now are not being put to good use, and that's why Scarlet and Violet is laughable. That's why Sword and Shield was scrutinized. That's why all this other stuff. But yeah, and then Pokemon Company and Nintendo really needs to, or Game Freak, Nintendo, whoever says, hey, the games need to be this way, they need to let Game Freak have like more room to do stuff, and they need to put out more spin-off titles. And they needed, and you know what they also need to do? They need to release like 2D, 3D games, like like the art style graphics of like Octopath Traveler. They need to broaden their horizons instead of like playing it safe, because the whole safe thing isn't working anymore. Kid, I was like, kids want complexity too. I know they're thinking about the kids, and the kids aren't really going to pay attention to their games and whatnot, but like, they also shouldn't dumb down kids. You shouldn't dumb down a kid, okay? You should not dumb down a kid. But yeah, I don't know. If anybody watched towards the end of the video, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section. My thought about this is that the Palworld, just like being as good as it is and racking up all this money, and then Game Freak and Pokemon and Nintendo are in damage control and trying to remind people that Scarlet and Violet exist. It's just like, oh jeez, Rick, oh jeez, all that stuff. My thoughts, Pokemon just needs to let Game Freak play around with ideas for years. Let them make a game for once, like we've all been begging, because in my opinion, before I end off the video, I'm gonna state another opinion. If Palworld didn't rise up to popularity as fast as it did, Pokemon would still be going the way it is. It would be continuing to this day, right? Today, being this not baked game, bland, mediocre game, and that's what they just keep going to do. But with Palworld, I really believe that now I really believe in the meeting rooms. They're like, all right, we gotta stop playing it safe, and we gotta make the games the way like this, because we can't get embarrassed again. Okay. If they listen to fans more, the fans that care, and if they stop playing it safe and then they do more with their games, then Pokemon would actually be better than it is today. Okay. In my opinion, the last good 3D Pokemon game, in my opinion, the only good 3D Pokemon games are like Let's Go, Swish, and Arceus. It's like oh my god, they embarrass themselves. Sorry, they just embarrass themselves, and they're the ones to blame for this. You know what? And another thing before I actually leave, I like there's a new competitor, because we really needed a new monster taming game on the scene, and if Palworld devs, company, whatever, want to make that a lasting thing to compete with Pokemon every year, then they really need to play their cards right, and they really need to market it and make it its own thing rather than try to compete with Pokemon, because that was Digimon's downfall in the West. Whoever localized Digimon, whoever was the marketing team, that's what made Digimon a downfall. But Palworld, I believe can coexist with Pokemon if they play their cards right. Anyway, my name is Lovable Idiot. Sorry, sorry for the ranting. Sorry for the whatever. If you like today's video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to watch this video in its entirety without me talking, blah blah blahing, whatever, then link it down in the description below. And as always, I will see y'all in the next video. Alrighty, bye bye.